1252 Sports Entertainment presents the one, the only, the One-Timer Hockey Show. Live with Andrew Faubert and Matt Bannon. So get your puck bunnies and give your balls a tug, because it's time to do that hockey. Let's do that hockey, baby.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special Wednesday episode of the One-Timer Hockey Show. I'm here at the Whistle Sports Bar and 59 Second Satellite Studio in Schaumburg, Illinois. I'm Matt Bannon, joined by Andrew Faubert. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm good. The Bucks are in the playoffs. My Red Wings are starting to look like a mess. But I'm good. How are things over on your end with your Blackhawks?
Oh, sticking par for the course. They were on an 8-game lose streak. They won a game, and they're on, I believe, a 5-game losing streak. So, we're just keeping it back to the basics of tanking for next season. A very Chicago thing to do, as it would turn out. But you know who is not tanking and is playing tonight, Andrew?
Yes, I do.
I think for everybody else, that's the U.S. and Canadian hockey teams for the World Junior Championships tonight, and that it'll be quite the game. What do you think? Any predictions on that one?
Canada, obviously. Duh. No. It's 1-0 right now. I think is at least what I got home and I saw for the States.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go get an update. Junior scores.
Yeah.
But
who was it? Czechia won today against Sweden, so whoever wins this game, yeah.
It is 2-0 United States currently. Right?
Oh, there we go. That's what I like to hear.
That's
it was kind of weird looking back at the final game. US Germany 11-1, so they clearly found something to work on that team, which is surprising that it looks like Canada beat Slovakia in overtime.
Yeah, that
for their
game.
Quarterfinal.
Man, did you watch that game by any chance?
I caught bits and pieces of it, and I saw the OT winner, but that was it.
So, for context, I did not. I saw the OT winner, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I do not need to state, and we do not need to state again." That this is the next McDavid. He could possibly be better, and I'm gonna still stand by that because everyone was like, "Oh, McDavid's gonna go to the Oilers. They ain't gonna be shit." Well, they haven't done shit, but at the same time, too, who's your Art Ross winner almost every year? Who's making the highlights every single year? The guy is a living highlight reel. So, that World Juniors, that goal that he scored, there's way more context to it. So, the beginning of the game, Stankoven got checked. One to the chest and then a little bit below, but to the back. So he kind of got like weird.
Yeah, wedged in it. Yeah.
And it obviously Bedard didn't like it because he came streaming in. Ladies and gentlemen, streaming in. And he had hate, and he didn't give a fuck if he was gonna get thrown out of the game for fighting. He wanted to. The dude was looking behind his shoulder like this. And when Bedard put up his hand, like he was gonna punch him, the dude twitched. And at that point, this is where it gets fun. Canada's second goal, because they are already up 1-0 at that time. Canada's second goal. Bedard passes it over, and I can't remember who scored, but it becomes 2-0. So for the Canadians are celebrating behind the net. Right as it happens. Bedard's over on this side. He goes to skate over to celebrate, and he follows one of the Slovakians. And he just, you can see him mouthing. But to me, it was basically like, you think I'm fucking done? Buddy, I'm not fucking close. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. So, there's still plenty left.
Now, that kind of fucked up for Canada. because on the flip, and I think that's kind of going into this game right now too, that Canada's going to have to pull something out. Canada, what they did is they allowed Slovakia to basically go back, and the coach was just like, you see that? You're under Canada's skin. You ain't shit.
Yeah, use it.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nemec and all those guys, they used it. They utilized it. They got 2 quick goals. It was 3-2 at one point, and they tied it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to the overtime. So now you take all that has happened throughout the game. Like, and Bedard and I think it was Nemec almost went at it again at one point too.
Ooh.
So
nice. So good game though.
Yeah, you take all of that kind of stuff, go on. Then you add in the 2 so the amazing save by the Slovak goalie at the end of regulation was like
ooh, that was good.
And then you get into overtime and he does it again. And then our goalie goes and does it again because he's already made a couple throughout this tournament. And I'm like looking at this highlight thing, and I would be like, I would have had a heart attack watching this, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that would have taken a few years off your life to witness it real time.
Man. So Canada finally gets a penalty towards the end of the first overtime, and Bedard, like, he shot it a few times. Shane Wright almost put it away, like it slipped through the goalie's arm, but it went high up the post and out. So Bedard just finally, after he shoots it like 2 times, gets it back on his stick and literally just goes in deeks and puts it back in, and he wins it in overtime for Canada. And I'm like,
very nice.
Obviously, he's going number 1. But now I'm looking at all the moves that the Red Wings have started to do, and I'm like, Yzerman, you're a fucking genius. Because you know what? We're banged up, and you want us to go and compete? Sure, that's fine. It's only going to take us so far when Nedeljkovic and Hellberg are now your backups to Vinny Husso. And Vinny Husso is not going to be the great fucking savior if we don't have a healthy squad in front of him.
Yes.
So
healthy being the key word there for this current team.
So now I'm like, if the Rangers did it a couple years ago with Lafreniere having like the 12th overall and 14th overall odds and stuff like that, so fucking help me God. There's a chance, and I'm all fucking.
There is a chance.
I want Bedard on the Red Wings so bad.
Oof.
I will only accept him on Detroit, or there's another team that I absolutely think he's getting drafted to. We will get into that in a moment. But what do you think?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Oh, and you'll be happy to know it's now 2-1. And anybody want to take a guess as to who scored the Canadian goal?
Was it Bedard?
It wasn't.
Let's fucking go. Y'all pissed him off. You did it. Yeah, fuck him. They're playing heave away. That's going on.
Oh, yeah. Probably going to end up having a high-scoring game. I have that feeling.
Look at this.
What is this? No.
We got Scott tuning in here. Thank you for tuning in. He says, "Go Blues." That's actually like his hated team. I did not realize that until we started doing the show together, how much he hated the Blues. And now I don't talk highly as much about the Blues as I used to.
And I appreciate that.
And then Hard Count Football comes in here, says, "Sorry, Andrew, Devils money line feels free tonight, buddy. Free money. We got Rasmussen and Perron on the first line with Larkin. Please, by all means, like either hit the money line for the Devils tonight, or like take the over, depending on.
I was going to say the over for sure is.
As long as it's not Vinny. If it's Vinny Husso, you might get screwed over, and you might get the under, but I'm going to
unlikely. Yeah, lots of high scoring goal games tonight throughout the. I'd say so.
Your Blackhawks really fucked me yesterday when I bet on that game live. Right after the second period, live bet was under 4.5 goals, and it was dog money. And I'm like, duh.
Yeah, that's what
Tampa puts up.
Gotta be careful with that.
Dude, like, what is your team doing?
I really don't know. That was because it's funnier because we had the first goal in the last like 3 games only to be immediately boil the water like that. I think it was 4-1 was yesterday or something, and then it was 4-1 again, and then like 5-2. It's crazy how much we like to give up leads now.
Well, full on tanking. I get it, but and the thing is too is People forget if you get the first overall pick, or like the odds for the first overall pick, the worst that you're getting is third.
Yeah.
That there's no like you fall to the 14th overall spot. Like that doesn't exist.
That would be it was and I was thinking about this because I was talking to my girlfriend about it. 'Cause she's like, you kept talking about and what was it? And I showed her the I guess the tankathon page where you can look at all the stats and simulate it and stuff. I didn't realize it goes in reverse order too. So it's not first overall pick goes first, it's 10th goes first.
Yep.
So those odds are always you look at them and they seem a little misleading.
Yep.
Because it's the chances of making it to the last pick that you get the first overall. Yep. So as it goes on, your odds get bigger, which is why it's really just it's inverted, if that makes sense. So if you have like a 1% chance at like 16, it means you have a 99% chance of being drawn first.
Yep.
Which is something that I guess a lot of people don't realize, which is why they're like, when you simulate the drafts and stuff, it always seems like the top pick is always 1, 2, or 3. It's rarely past that, and that's why. Because it's reverse picking order, which is good for me because it's looking like we're gonna keep that one.
Though. Okay, do you want to hear my theory? I was coming up with this over the weekend.
Yeah, certainly. Lay it on me.
I think we already know where Bedard's going.
I think so, yes.
Whether and it's not Chicago. I hate to be that guy. He's not going to go to the Blackhawks because the Blackhawks are already a set franchise and they don't necessarily they can go back into irrelevancy, I guess you would say, for a few years and they'll still
quicker than expect. Yeah, but
Bedard's going to the Coyotes.
Yeah. So, I did a few more over the weekend too. Yeah. And I averaged them again. It's still that fucking team is number one. Arizona is on average the one that kept them for my simulations. I'm like, this is just awful.
Take the whole hockey out of it. All right.
Yes.
Arizona.
Pure business.
Yeah, pure business. Arizona as a state, I guess you would say. Up here we call it provinces, and I'm sorry, but as a state,
that's fair.
You generate a lot of money through the people that live there, and even say kind of in the surrounding states when superstars come. So what I mean by that is Arizona's really done good with the superstar market. They don't necessarily do good in the whole rebuild market, I guess you would say. You still have fans. Like I have a buddy, like I have a co-host who's a Cardinals fan. I love the Coyotes of back in the day. That's just personally me.
Yes.
The Diamondbacks of back in the day as well for old school baseball jerseys. They're pretty dope. And then basketball, the Phoenix Suns now have a team where Chris Paul and Devin Booker are superstars. And that's what's finally won them the championship. That's what finally brought people into the arena. So Bettman owns that fucking team. And he's a part owner of the damn Coyotes. And that just keeps overshadowing everything. Whereas it should seem like if the Coyotes, if they don't have the first overall odds, they should not be getting Connor Bedard because it would seem too like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very duplicitous of Bettman. Well, I guess not even really because they would be expecting. I feel like most people expect, but in honesty, it'd be duplicitous of him to have it work out that way. So
it happened the draft with McDavid as well. Guy was supposed to either go to Buffalo, where he's gonna die. He had a chance to go to Toronto, but Toronto would be jumping too high at that point. And then
that would be
And then the Oilers were, I believe, second or third overall.
I think they were third overall.
And I told my fiance the other day, more than likely what happened in that was Gary Bettman went to the Oilers organization, like the owners were like, yeah, you can't keep sucking money out of these guys with a shitty arena. You're going to build an arena. We're going to collect money through Rogers off of the side, which is what we've been doing anyway. You're going to sponsor it through Rogers. You're going to say, fuck what your people say. You're going to spend the $4 billion. You're going to even make it look like a fucking hockey stick. I don't care. You're going to make it look cool.
It needs to get done. Yeah.
You're going to put it downtown. Or for relocation purposes, that team will get thrown to Houston and you'll never get it back. Because you can get Like we've
Yeah.
seen, say, with the Jets. The Jets got to come back and be the Jets, right? There's other teams that have gotten to come back and be themselves. But if you lose the Edmonton Oilers to the Houston market, that literally is already right off the bat for population 4 to 5 times bigger, just general downtown population. And then you put an arena there, you don't even have to sell it out all the time. It's an American market. It makes more money anyway.
And with Houston, especially being also just not only a massive city, it's also a massive transit city, which I think a lot of people don't realize. Same thing with Vegas, although for different reasons. So it's the same thing with their team. They don't necessarily need a strong home market. Hell, everybody's in there, so they might as well just pop in if the tickets are the right price or if you've got enough people there. So same thing with Houston. Enough people are constantly moving through that city. I mean, and you've got a massive population, so you already have that as a perfect backdrop. Whatever team, whether they move there or starts up, is going to be doing pretty well. Well, they should. They have all the utilities for it and resources.
And if you go and read the articles out there that always are like, relocation cities that are probably going to happen, Houston's always up there as like the number one because they had a market back in the day with the Houston Aeros. Obviously, the fact that Gordie Howe played there, you'll start to get some real OGs that'll probably come to
hardliners.
But at the same time, too, I think it kind of goes back into what I was saying with the Coyotes. It was like a fuck you to Edmonton. So you're going to get McDavid, and you might fuck up his career or whatever, and you might make him eventually go to Toronto. Who the fuck knows? But you've been given this chance.
Yeah, you have it. Don't lose it. Yeah, because this is it.
And we've seen, like, I don't know about you. I've seen the prices of hockey jerseys right now, and they're fucking ridiculous.
They are pretty expensive at the moment.
And why?
That's a great question.
Because the NFL jerseys are nice and cheap.
They are.
Respectively, of course.
Yeah, oh, well, yes, of course.
Yes. But, like, that's the market for it. Is the NFL has money to take certain things out of that so that when the average kid is looking for a jersey of some sort, now you're starting to take it away from the Canadian kids. Because the Canadian kids all want their jerseys. But, like, say for my fiance, she was like, it's like $365 before shipping. I don't know what to do. And I was like, don't. I'm like, don't. Do not start breaking the bank for a cider jersey like that. Like, I do not need it that bad.
That's crazy.
But the one time I think she got me the Brady jersey. That was probably like $150 to get here. That's it.
Oh, that still seems pretty high. Maybe it's just the international, but that's crazy.
It's the Canadian prices and stuff, of course. Right? But yeah, that's kind of what I pay, and I'm accepting of that. And now
that's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Now going back into that, the American market.
Yes.
Bedard, so this is what I told a buddy who lives in Arizona too. He's like, so if this happens, do I buy a Bedard jersey? I'm like, yeah, and you buy 2, and you send me
get
one.
A few of them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get him fucking signing that shit one day when he comes up to Edmonton. Which, by the way, if he becomes a Coyote, the average price for what Coyote tickets out here would probably be like anywhere between $90 and $145 in like the 200 rows for the Oilers there. That's now like.
Yeah, that's gone up quite a bit.
So here's the other part of it too. They have no home. They have that 5,000. They have that mullet arena or what everybody keeps joking about, and I also like it. I think it's funny. The problem though is they need the new stadium. They need a new rink to play in. So it's pretty easy to convince the city of Tempe, Arizona, when you give them the next best thing in the NHL for the next 15 years. You give me
selling like crazy.
You give me arena for 25, 30 years. I give you this player basically foregone conclusion for at least 10 to 15.
I was pretty interesting when we had talked about it. And I had mentioned that, he was going to go to Tempe or whatever it was. And then the next time we talked about it, it actually went really well for some reason. I wonder if there's something there. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but
that's
that would
basically the
definitely
cherry on
help
top.
convince. Yeah.
It's Bettman being like, I will do this for you. I will fuck Chicago. No offense to you. I will fuck the Blue Jackets.
We did it to ourselves, so.
I'll fuck the Ducks. I'll fuck them all.
Oh, that one's easy, yeah.
Yeah, I'll fuck all of these teams and all of these owners just for you guys to keep my team here, please.
And to make my pet project work. Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of projects, we got a couple of commercials here, ladies and gentlemen, from some people who've been doing some amazing things down here in Chicago. We'll be right back in about 3 to 4 minutes time, right after a word from these sponsors.
Stagecoach in Lockport has a unique menu from fresh salads and burgers to venison and steak sandwiches. We feature plenty of appetizers and desserts for a perfect way to start or end your meal. Come into our country western bar and dining room or relax outside on our patio sitting in the heart of downtown Lockport on State Street. We can accommodate both small gatherings and large parties. Offering 16 different beers on tap, frozen margaritas, an extensive bourbon and whiskey menu, and our famous Bloody Marys. You cannot go wrong at Stagecoach. And if you're feeling lucky, come try DJ Bingo on Tuesdays or our Big Pay slot machines all week. Stagecoach is located at 1028 South State Street in Lockport, Illinois. Everyone is a friend at Stagecoach. Hope to see y'all soon.
Hi, this is Kathy O'Connell at Coach's Corner, located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Our phone number is 708-364-1026. We are Orland Park's #1 sports bar. Come in for our wonderful beer menu and seltzers with a fully stocked bar. Watch a game, drink a beer, and try something off our amazing menu. We have everything to choose from: nachos, potato skins, and our house-made bar chips to start off with. Then try our tacos, burgers, and one of our delicious sandwiches. And don't leave without trying our famous jumbo wings. They do not disappoint. Coach's Corner. It will sure to become your local bar. Again, we are located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Come see us today.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show as well as the 1252 brand because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend. Or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's NIKIVY brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Fuzzy football, are you ready, brother? Real football action on a glossy game surface played shuffle style. Slide a shuffle puck at pass or run targets, and a free mobile app keeps track of every game detail. Easy to learn, but this game of skill is difficult to master. Take care of the ball, or turnovers will kill your drive. The game is guaranteed to get your competitive fire burning, and it's perfectly sized to take anywhere. The park, a barbecue, your next tailgate, or fun at home on game nights. Fozzy football is simply the best, most realistic and competitive game of football available anywhere. Add defense when your skill improves and take the game to the next level. The perfect mix of fast action and real football drama, where a last-second Hail Mary can break hearts or make champions.
Welcome back, everybody, to the One Timer Hockey Show, coming to you from the Whist Sports Bar and Grill 159, second satellite studio in Schaumburg, Illinois. Andrew and I were just talking about potential, I guess, not really collusion when you kind of control the whole thing yourself, but
right?
skullduggery. There you go. There's a word you can put in your pocket to get Arizona, the golden child of this upcoming draft, Bedard. And I think it's pretty. I think that's what we're going to happen, or what we're going to see happen. Unfortunately for me, but oh,
There's a couple. I literally just popped into the call. There's a couple of our friends. Matt, is that water or vodka?
oh yeah, this is unfortunately water. You'd think about talking about the Blackhawks in this year's performance, it would be vodka, and I do not blame you. I wish it were. Trust me.
He also goes, Blackhawks can't beat the Blues.
That is
Well,
true. Well, this season so far, we have faced them 4 times. Two are preseasons. Preseason games were blowouts, and what was it, last Thursday? It was a 3-1 loss. So far, yes. At one point, we could,
far, yes.
but there's a couple more. You never know. We'll see what happens. I don't expect any miracles, though.
My buddy Jared comes in here, says, "What's a Detroit fan know about hockey?" He's a Toronto fan, so I at least know about.
Oh, that's it. Yep.
Cups and cups. Here's the guy. I tell you, this is my co-host. Chris comes in. Bedard will always be the second best, Connor. Sorry to say it, buddy, but if he goes to the right location, it's not going to happen. He's going to flourish.
We'll see.
He's going to flourish. And honestly, I'm going to stand by it, sit by it, whatever the fuck it is. Only because I live out around the Edmonton area, and every single time Bedard comes out here and stuff like that, he's going to put on a show. You know for a fact that he's going to put on a show. McDavid's also going to put on a show.
Yes.
I'm not taking anything away from McDavid or the Oilers or anything like that. They are a great squad, but I do kind of agree with some of the talks out there, like from the Spit and Chicklets or from a couple of the other guys there, where it's just like, what are the Oilers team without, say, like Draisaitl? Like if it's just McDavid, and then what is the team without McDavid if it's just Draisaitl? Or fucking what if both aren't there? But I don't ever see that happening. One's got to finish their career there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
McDavid will remind Bedard why he's McDaddy. And again, probably, but like,
yeah,
the same reason why McDavid has developed into the player that he is. He got beat. He's been beat. He's been shown up. He's been shown that his team can't necessarily get over the hump as like a whole team. He's got to put it on his back, or the coach, as I've said so many times, stop splitting up Draisaitl and McDavid, as actually we've said. Stop splitting up McDavid and Draisaitl. Let them play together and fucking stop. Just stop. You better drink something. You'll get dehydrated.
Yeah.
We literally played 3 games without Leon, and Connor elevated his game. That's this year, which is good.
I was going to say, yeah, it's good. That shows that he's learned or adapted how to, but in years prior, I remember that not being so good. Well, him not being at that level, I should say. Again, because him being bad is not true. But him being as good as he should be is exactly it.
His rookie season, he was already up there with like, in my opinion, like of skill sets. He was up there with Stamkos. He was up there with Crosby, though Crosby has a different kind, I guess you would say.
Yeah, a bit of a different dynamic to him, yeah.
Yeah. So like McDavid came into the league already with that. And that was awesome to see. I mean, he got injured in his first season, and every Oiler fan, I'm pretty sure if I asked Chris right now just to name me the player that injured McDavid in his first season, he'd tell me. I know it was against Philadelphia. McDavid's developed into this great player. It just sucks. And I'm not saying this to piss off Oiler fans. It just sucks that he hasn't gotten the cup yet. It does suck that he has not been able to. Now, mind you, he was close last year, but like he had to go through fucking Colorado. And Colorado,
that one.
Colorado sucked for 8 years to assemble the squad that they had. So, do Crosby and Malkin play together all game? No, but they play the best when they are. But that kind of goes into my point. You need to develop the whole team around them. You know what I mean? Like, you have to develop a second line. You got to develop a third line where then you can split them up and you don't have to worry
Exactly.
about putting them back together, I guess you would say. So,
Yeah, because like you always drag back to the same old ways, and that clearly can't. Well, that'll work and win games, but win championships, maybe not so much if you have to rely on the one trip. Like there you go, Taves. They do not play together all game, although they've recently been. See, this is the same thing. They keep mixing up the lines to try to get it to something to work. If you
Yeah.
believe they're trying to win the game, but then they just don't really do it because they're so used to being Taves was line one and Kane was line two for so long.
Yeah.
And they only ever really played together on the power play or injury or so line change mid game.
Yeah.
And this season's still not working because that chemistry is either not there or, well, I had mentioned a long time ago, I thought back in one of our earlier shows, I thought Kane was hurt and dealing with a nagging injury.
Mhm.
He left the last game with a lower body injury, and I wonder if that's something that was always there, kind of slowing him down.
Mhm.
It shows you
Well-
can't revolve on one line of two people. It just doesn't work.
We talk about, like, we're talking about, say, some of these guys like that we don't
Mhm.
split up. But if we talk about success of, like, say, teams that have done, like the LA Kings, right? Boston Bruins, they all are teams that can actually and have proven that they can win with, say, 2, maybe 3 superstars, depending on what you would call that Boston squad and what you would call that Los Angeles squad. Some people would say you have to do Kopitar, you have to do Doughty, but like if it wasn't for Jonathan Quick, that team doesn't fucking win anything. And people would say Dustin Brown. I'm like, well, that now you start throwing like a Dustin Brown in there just to throw that conversation. Now you're talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning back in, what was that? 04?
Was that 5? 4 or 5?
Yeah, when they won the cup with like Andrew Chuck and Richards
Mhm.
and Martin St. Louis and Le Cavalier, like that's the squad, right? And I like Chris makes good points. They got Kane, who had 30 or 40 goals, and he is injured, and that does suck.
Having a rough season of it, but
rough.
So that's how it is.
And you can't, and that one is like a fluke. Like you can't really say anything on that. You could just hope that like, what the hell is that? Clem? I can't. What the fuck is his name? Clem. There's a 21-year-old I can't remember on the Oilers. I keep seeing. I like the way that he played. There's some the young guys are showing up. And Skinner was good, but they still lost to the Kraken last night. I reminded Chris about that because he wanted to remind me. I'm like trying to do this transition on the New Year's show, and I'm like, all right, let's get to the next one. And he just kept talking like, oh, yeah, Seattle sucks, by the way. They just got scored on again. I'm like, could you fucking not? Like, shut up. And so that's why
Why must you do this to me?
Yeah, I'm like, can you just give me a second here? So I was like, listen, you're gonna hear it now. Here's the Kraken logo. Remind your fucking roommate what he has to deal with today and shit. There we go. But he does. We're missing Kane, who's a 30 or 40 goal scorer, which is true.
True.
And then he gets put online with say like Draisaitl or McDavid, and it works out. And I don't mind that. Nuge having a career year, which is true. He's like top 10 in points. No defense, but that's the thing. As a person who's had Ken Holland, it's gonna be hard for you to trade for fucking defense.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't like giving up his picks. He really doesn't.
I mean, that's not the worst, I guess, thing to die on, but at some point you're gonna have to realize that it's just gonna be a necessity at some point, because otherwise you'll just ride that wheel of mediocrity because you can't really do anything one way or another. Yeah.
That's
gonna have to get lucky.
That's the Red Wings right now, honestly. I love the development we're getting. I truly do. There's so much talent on the Red Wings. The problem is we still don't know who's supposed to go where.
Yep.
And with the fact that Bertuzzi's still fucking injured, Nedeljkovic looked really good when he first came in. Now this nagging injury that he's had or something like that
a little bit.
Like, and then Verona, this should have opened the show with this. How in the fuck do the Red Wings get away with dropping Nedeljkovic and Verona's contract to the minors?
I saw that the other day.
How the fuck? They just cleared waivers today. But I'm like, I understand that Verona might have some personal issues going on and like a bunch of teams aren't going to take it. But like if you are, say, the Edmonton Oilers, if you are the Colorado Avalanche, because they're dealing with a bunch of injuries. If you're dealing with a bunch of injuries, like say the St. Louis Blues, and I know you don't like to talk about the St. Louis Blues, but like they need the scorer, they need the sniper. There's a few of these teams out there that need the sniper. How in the fuck did this man clear waivers? How the fuck is Nedeljkovic the starting goaltender for the Grand Rapids fucking Griffins right now?
That's a wonderful question.
It makes no sense, dude.
That's something you have to be in the boardroom, I feel like, to get privy to that, the reasoning behind it. Because it seems a little odd.
How many GMs are scared to fuck with Steve Yzerman? Like, Steve Yzerman basically calls all the GMs like, I'm putting Verona on waivers. Anybody fucking touches him, I swear to God.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
I'll literally swap in on every single one of the trades that you're going to make for a whole year, and I'll just offer another third, and I'll get the fucking trade. Like,
yeah, that's what those future considerations are. Yeah, right there.
And like, see, we even had someone just pop in here. Ray Leo says the waiver system is broken. How Verona clears is crazy. Makes no sense, man.
I got nothing
either because again, like, is Yzerman sitting there at the Swedish game, get like his phone going off, and then being like, fucking Vancouver was looking at it, and he'd be like, yeah, tell Vancouver I'll trade for fucking Chikrin or the guy on Arizona that they're looking at there. It's like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Well,
and if I'm and if I'm a Red Wings fan, I'm like, can you fucking not? I don't want to give up anything until I know what the hell is going on at the end of the season. If we're in the playoffs, fucking give up the pick. I don't care because we're not obviously getting Bedard. Fucking do what you got to do. Do whatever you need to do to get in the offseason and start like going for the win. But if you miss the fucking playoffs and someone's offering you anything for that first pick before the lottery,
might want to take it. Yep. They're sitting just out of the lottery right now, aren't you?
No, we're in it still.
Are you in it still?
Yeah, we let me go to Tankathon here.
Let's see. Did I do it wrong? Oh no, you are. You are rare. Interesting. Yeah, so it's like what we had talked about last time. You got to start deciding if we're going to go push extra hard or start pumping the brakes a little bit at the midpoint.
How the fuck does Edmonton? How is Edmonton sitting at 13th overall odds? They got more points than me. I guess games played right now, but like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I don't like that. But if you look at
4 games in hand, maybe
the Islanders are going to miss the playoffs, and they're 22-15-2 right now. Like, if it were to end right now,
yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, Connor Bedard gets drafted to the New York Islanders.
Yeah, like, son of a
fuck out of here with that. I mean, they also need an arena too, so like, gotta help them.
It might in the short term.
There's a few places I really don't want them to go. I don't want them to go to Montreal. Fucking I really don't want them to go to Montreal.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not too happy with Montreal either. So I'd prefer that didn't happen.
I think he would pull an Eric Lindros if Philadelphia's name got called, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna play for John Gord's."
Actually, I've kind of changed my mind. Never mind.
I've cut off my own foot. That's silly, me.
Oops.
Whoops.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Don't you just absolutely like, wow, man? I cannot believe that. Another one that I would absolutely hate is the Ducks. I just no Ducks. And of course, like, just because me and you, like, I'm coming around to them, but still, fuck Chicago. I can't. And also fuck St. Louis, like, just because, right? Yeah. But like, honestly, if he goes to Ottawa, I'd be so mad. I'd be so fucking pissed because then, like, the Ottawa Senators market, like, what's his name? Ryan Reynolds would buy that team in a heartbeat, and people like us would like have to go to Ottawa and start up shows because it would just make sense.
It would work. So it's okay for our potential futures, but bad for everything.
I don't want to move to Ottawa. They got fucking truck convoys that go through there. Racist Canadians. No, I'm just kidding. I may not have agreed with the convoy, but it did do good in Canada, I will admit. Speaking of doing good for their respective countries, we got a couple of more quick commercials to get into to pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes' time with a quick word from our sponsors. Be right back.
Megaplex Sports Complex is a 78,000 square foot center filled with hardwood and turf. They have baseball rentals with batting cages, softball, soccer, lacrosse, gymnastics, cheerleading, cornhole, basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. It also features a bar and grill with the best pizza and beef sandwiches around. They cater to events such as birthdays, graduations, corporate parties, as well as memorabilia shows. Check them out at Megaplex Sports Complex, 15301 South Bell Road in Homer Glen, 708-966-4210.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Welcome back, everybody, to the One Timer Hockey Show here at the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 Second Satellite Studio in Schaumburg, Illinois. Andrew and I talking a little bit about everything. Again, Bedard and where he's going, potential collusion. But I do also have an update from the World Junior game between U.S. and Canada going on right now. Andrew, you seen any updates? You want to guess what the score is currently?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just tell you. It's currently tied at 2 at the beginning of the second. Yes.
That's what I said.
Stankoven went ahead and got it in the first minute. Typical USA team, just giving it up. But still plenty of time. We'll see what happens there.
A couple other comments wanted to get.
Yes.
I like this. Can Kim make a cameo? She can't make a cameo every time, man. If I could ever get Kim to pop up on a sports show for like an actual like thing, I think I'd be more impressed in my producing skills than anything, because like that would be hard pressed. He does make a very good point though. We had Mike fucking Smith in net against Colorado. David being beat is a terrible point. It's not him. Well, disagreed. Him being beat is not him. I will agree with that, but it's the team. And every single time that the team gets beat, it does seem that there is something that McDavid can improve on. Now, the problem is with that is every player. But he's going to be the one that gets scrutinized because he wears the C. He's supposed to be the best in the league, and he hasn't won a championship yet. That's why I'm still pissed off that we as the Red Wings, are the ones that lost to fucking Crosby and Malkin. They got them Fleury, and they got their fucking cup, and I'm like, ugh. So
yeah, gross.
Skinner is still a man rocket. Skinner is good. I do
Yep.
like Skinner's development. Colorado sucks because Kroenke owns them. Also true. He says also go Blues.
No argument there. Oh.
I agreed with that.
Yep.
I thought the Devils were going to grab him, which would have made tonight interesting. I actually agree.
Yeah, both
How-
those points, yeah.
How many undrafted players on the Devils are just like so fucking good, man? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Any good prospects in the wings? There's the Casper that we drafted last year. He is going to be one fucking great center. I've seen a couple of highlights of him and his stick handling. I'm not going to say that exactly whose it is.
Okay.
But he's starting to look like a proper mixture of like what Datsyuk could have done with the puck on his stick and what Patrick Kane does when he has the puck on his stick with speed. There's a perfect balance combo. And he's fast as fuck.
Ooh, that's a dirty combination right there, yeah.
Very fast. So he's the one, he's like the number one, though we have Simone Edmondson, who's that 6'5" left defenseman that want to pair up with Sider.
That bear of a man, I remember that.
Yeah, he's 6th overall pick from a couple years ago, I think from the London Knights. So he's up and coming. I love Soderblom. I would get a Soderblom jersey if they weren't fucking $500 a piece.
Very expensive, yeah, as we had talked about earlier.
Yeah. And then there's obviously Sebastian Costa, who we took 15th overall 2 years ago, the goalie. He actually played in the town that I'm in for 3 years for the Fort Saskatchewan Rangers, which if you know me, I'm trying to find one of those jerseys signed somewhere. Like they exist in this town and I will fucking find it. I will be the owner of it and I will take such good care of that jersey. Like,
they're all hiding from you. They know.
I cannot wait to see what he can do. Because that's the other side of it is Detroit's building a team with a few guys who could be superstars, like the Tampa Bay Lightning squad from before, like we were talking about. I adding a Bedard to that just makes it so like you have to win a championship.
Yes, so I think there'd be almost zero excuse if you're not. So
you can't have all those developing players. You can't have all that money available. And the space and the veterans on the squad, Yzerman being your fucking GM, Lalonde being the coach. You can't have all that set up, throw Bedard into the mix, and say you can't win that's not going to win a championship in 7 years. Like, I would be pissed. I'd give it 6. I'd be like, you have to spank McDavid. You got to spank the Avalanche out of that division. You got to spank the last desperate chances of Toronto. You got to spank this upcoming Ottawa team, this Buffalo team, this New Jersey team. You have to do all of that in 6 years. If you take this current Red Wing squad, throw Bedard into the mix with all the money that Detroit still has in the cap and the guys coming up in the system, like we're talking about here.
Yeah, we're
6 years. 7 years, we win a championship. I'm mad that we didn't get it early.
I feel like that also comes down to you got to perfect your utilization and stay away from the injury bug over there. Because I think that's really the only real problems Detroit's facing right now are those two aspects of it. And one you can't really control. So
anyone who doesn't isn't going to Arizona. And that's just it. That's exactly what we're talking about. Now, this is kind of funny. We're kind of end towards the show on kind of like what I was saying with Detroit. Like if Bedard goes to the Detroit squad right now, I want 6 or 7 years. It's got to pick up.
Yep.
Looking at some of these other players in the Tankathon.
Let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah. You put Bedard on Chicago right now. How long does it take them to win a Stanley Cup? Or at least, we'll just say Stanley Cup.
4 years, I'd say.
4 years.
4 years. They're better at that point. For the same reason, like we've got, again, I think that would convince a few people to stay in Chicago. That'd be worth it. We have traded away so many people for prospects that it might be worth starting some of them to get them up out of either Rockford or wherever the hell they're currently, to get them to play together to develop an early kind of chemistry, which is what we had talked about a few weeks ago on what team do you think would be the best, and I think that would accelerate it too.
Yeah.
And with the losing, you'd gain more experience, like that physical experience, quicker than you would just getting on by winning.
Yeah.
Which I had mentioned briefly before too. So I'd say with proper management and assuming that the management actually wants to win, I'd give it 4 years. It'd be difficult, but they could do it. They could. Not saying they will. They could potentially do that. Also, I mean, we don't have – would be the fiercest direct competition to us would be, well, probably the Blues. And they're currently a better team, but they are also struggling. So if we got that, as everybody else around really collapses again for a variety of reasons, whatever it be, cap space, hell, I know a few people are starting to feel that, or just aging players with not ready replacements, I think we would be able to take advantage of it.
Fair enough.
They would really have to want it. If they didn't, then I would say we'd be lucky. If they didn't want it or they played with the same attitude, I'd say we'd be lucky if we got it before 2030. If they cared, 4 years. If not, maybe 7 or 8.
So here's well, I make this actually a little bit better because now I'm just looking at all these teams that are in here, right? So if Bedard goes there, do the Blue Jackets get a cup eventually? Do the Blue Jackets as a team eventually under Bedard get a cup? Do you think?
I think it'd be pretty possible. I would take longer though.
Oh God!
From what I've seen from the Blue Jackets,
10 years.
I would, at least another
years.
Decade.
Yep.
Just because I don't really understand what their philosophy is on team for the most part, so
I don't get it either.
I could honestly not make a solid bet other than past a decade. I would be very surprised if it were.
Buddy, they're like,
I don't know.
They're one of the most ass-backward franchises, respectively, I've seen, where it's like when you assemble this fucking godly squad that beats Tampa Bay and like Foligno and all those guys back in the day, and you just the next season say, fuck it, Foligno to Toronto for a 7th and all this kind of stuff. Bro, those is your captain. Like, okay, we're going to fix it by trading for Line-A. So we got some scorers in here. You're not ready to do that. Like,
no, you don't have anything to back them up now. Now what do? Oh,
Johnny Gaudreau has now taken $10 million of your cap. It's like, what happened?
Yep.
Why did you sign here?
Gotta love it. It's like that. It's the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'll put it this way: are the perfect representation of that meme. You know, the guy riding the bike and he takes a stick and he shoves it in his own like spokes. He's like, why would they do this? That's them. So a decade plus, I would be surprised.
I agree with that too. Yeah, decade plus, 10 years plus. San Jose get a cup under Bedard?
I think they could do it in 8.
Right on the nose of where I was thinking, dude.
Yep.
Right on the nose.
They've got the problem with the aging players, and they're starting to get age. Related problems. Their cap is okay from what I recall. They're starting to bring people up, which is good. So that change of the guard's about there. They just need a better plan.
They got a lot of youth in that fucking development too.
And I think that is their biggest strength and weakness. That will take longer to get everything in place. But once it is, that would be quite a force to reckon with.
Now, right off the bat, too, like he gets Hurdle and Meyer on each side of him, too, like for a front line. Fucking lock that in. Lock that fucking in.
Figure it out between you guys. Do whatever it takes to get good chemistry and just go. See what happens.
And I agree because the organization of San Jose would realize probably about 3 years after they would get Bedard in this situation. Okay, Carlson is great, but we need to get a younger version of Carlson.
Exactly.
And we need to get, you're going to love this name, we need to go get a Johnny Oduya.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You're gonna need a Johnny Oduya.
I see exactly what you mean with that too.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
You need a Johnny
100%.
Oduya. If you could find a fucking By Gooflin, I know that's not his actual name, but you go find fucking By Gooflin, another one of those guys in the league. Yeah, you go find those two, sign them, put them on that squad, and enjoy.
You essentially have a different version of the 2010 Blackhawks right there, and that team did well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Younger prospect with big fight.
Canada!
Oh no, let's see this.
Go 3-2, baby!
Oof, gross. Well, you know what they say, pride before the fall, right? So we'll let you guys get comfortable.
It's Fantilli too. So
it was,
the second overall pick in this upcoming draft.
So regardless, Chicago's getting a good look at one of our guys. Yep. Don't know which one it's going to be, but it will be one of them.
Now, this is actually a good transition quick before we get for tonight. We'll talk about the Arizona Coyotes again, just because we were kind of talking about them. Logan Cooley was the guy who opened up the scoring for the United States in this game. He is what the Coyotes took at third overall last year, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
He is apparently the next Patrick Kane. And I've watched him play, and he looks pretty fucking good. So now the question becomes, same thing. Connor Bedard goes to the Phoenix Coyotes.
Which is what quite a few people are thinking is going to happen.
Does he win a cup?
This is a difficult one to answer. I would say probably.
Okay.
And it's just because you can have all of this, which the Coyotes are looking like we'll be getting. The only problem is, again, they don't know what to do with it. They couldn't even, because we had this talk before about, like, is their marketing that terrible? Well, yes, it is. They constantly bailouts from everybody. They have to be at ASU's stadium, which they can't even sell that out. So it's funny. If you get the Kingdom, I don't think they could upkeep it, honestly. So if they do manage to get a cup, it would be a little bit down the line. They'd have to actually stop being a feeder team / wheelhouse for everybody else's players to be like, all right, we're hitting cap like space. Send them the Coyotes. We'll get them back in like 4 years for another couple of picks that we're never going to really use for Arizona because they can't do it either because they can't the greatest, although they've been getting better lately. I would say if they tried their damnedest to win, if they got Bedard, 6 years, maybe they'd be able to before the decade goes out. But I don't think they could do more than that because I have not seen it.
So this is what I would think. I think it would be 16 years.
16? Okay.
and the reason why is I bet you any money that, like, if Bedard got there, it would take about 2 years, 3 years for a lot of the youth that's in there to finally start making the roster.
Through.
Logan Cooley, Geike, Lamoureux, Soderstrom is another one there too. There's another one that I'm forgetting. Whoever they draft in the second round of this draft, their goalie. I know they got a goalie in the system too.
Yes, they do.
My point would then be, like, they would have a chance at making a run if they stayed, obviously, in the state of Arizona at a free agent like Austin Matthews. And I think that that team would be so competitive, it would be almost just like the Toronto Maple Leafs for about, say, 8 to 10 years. Where, like, Matthews retires, say, a Coyote, that he finishes off his career. He's pissed off he hasn't won a cup, like, whatever, but he's still one of the best American players of all time. One of, not the. He plays on that team. But he goes down. And the bitter taste in Bedard's mouth of ownership, not knowing what the fuck to do.
Clearly.
The fact that they've been so close. Yeah, they've been so close. Having been to the conference finals a couple of times, losing to you guys to go to one of those Stanley Cups.
Yep.
the ownership eventually changes because we'll just say a certain someone passes away who is part of that ownership. And eventually some other people get in there. They ask Bedard, what's it going to take to stay here? And he says,
what can we make you the face of this now and forever, ideally?
And he says, instead of just making this a flashy thing to sell tickets, I need you to do your job and put a fucking team around me. So Lamoureux, I bet you any money that the 3 guys that they drafted last draft would still be a pillar. Like they would still keep Cooley.
Oh, absolutely.
Lamoureux would probably be like the best fucking throw him out there and start tossing your body out. And Morgan Geike goes out there and does it too. But they would have to get more. And I think
they would need that. Yeah. That's why it would be, again, if they did it, they'd have to try really hard, essentially do a 180 on whatever they've been doing for the past couple decades and get really, really lucky in the postseason. But yeah, that's the only way I can see them winning relatively soon. Else, it's like you said, they're going to be like the Blue Jackets, except with an actual clear path to win, instead of the Blue Jackets spin the wheel and throw a dart and see what happens.
Like, oh look, good draft pick. Who's that?
Yeah, let's you perfect.
All right.
Yes. All right. I think that just about does it. Wrapping it up here for our One-Timer Hockey Show Wednesday edition. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That's pretty much the show, other than one more Let's Go USA. They'll come back in the third and make the gold medal game.
We're just double checking the score, making sure we didn't score again or anything like
that.
It
is still 3-2.
It is still 3-2. So much love to all the people in the comment section tonight.
Absolutely.
Go Canada, all that fun stuff. And share this out. Tell everybody we got a hockey show going on here at 1252 Sports, and we'll be back next week for some more.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
.1252 Sports Entertainment presents the one, the only, the One-Timer Hockey Show. Live with Andrew Faubert and Matt Bannon. So get your puck bunnies and give your balls a tug, because it's time to do that hockey. Let's do that hockey, baby.